Good morning. Welcome to the third day of the 2024 bike. And if y'all all please rise as Miss Jada Clay sings our national anthem.
Please join me in the United States pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We may stand for the Texas pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. Please bow your head in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you and ask health and safety over all the exhibitors, their families, agents, ag teachers, stock show board, volunteers, our community, and the lifestyle. Thank you for this opportunity that we love to do. Amen.
Today we are grateful to have Mr. Adam Beck as our judge. Adam lives in Clayton, Indiana with his wife Sarah and their 5 children, Kayla, Lily, Willow, Briggs, and Sailor, ranging in ages from 18 to 2. As a family, they own and operate Crossroads Genetics, where they have 60 show pig sires, and they also operate Adam Beck and Family Show Pigs, where they have 150 sows. He has been very fortunate to judge all across the country. Some notable shows that he has judged: the NJSS Barrows, OYE Breeding Gilts, San Angelo Barrows and Gilts, and as of today, the Bi-County Livestock Show. Adam, we appreciate you being here. Kicking our show off today is going to be Class 1 Berkshire, Camry Kitchens, Kinsley Frishy, Tripp Trimble, and Brennan Sage.
Well, good morning. It sure is a pleasure and honor to be down here at your Bi-County Livestock Show. And when I got the call to come down to judge a couple counties down here, I was pretty fired up. It's always a pleasure to come down here to the great state of Texas to work through your hogs and more importantly, work with your young people down here. It's been a blast yesterday, and I've been looking forward to today as well. And this class of Berkshire hogs starts out in a very, very good class. I think we've got a really good really good set of them out here. And I think there's one within this class that needs to win and does so for me pretty handily. That's going to be the young lady here to my left in the pink shirt. Got a gilt there that I think is just so good in so many regards. That thing is super comfortable, very good on her feet and legs. She's got plenty of dimension and mass for me at this stage of the game and where she's at in her maturity. I like how she comes at me. She's extremely square and correct in her build. Like her skull and her head shape. She's got a really good fresh back in her and one that's very just comfortable and big in her feature, and young lady's presented her extremely well. Young lady there in the middle with the other little gilt is going to go ahead and be second. I think a gilt that really overwhelms the class in terms of dimension and power. That thing is super busted open and big in her chest and big about her back. She's got a big hip in her and still has a square hind leg. I guess where I'd like to fix her is, I don't know long term if that one's just going to be big enough. She's a little bit more on the moderate side for me. I guess another thing I'd like to change is she gets a little straighter out of her front shoulder and knee. Just need to rock her shoulder back into her and make her a little bit more comfortable there to go ahead and be our class winner. But a very nice gilt to go ahead and be in second. A young lady there on the far side with the barrow is going to go ahead and be third. And I think the hog that, from the side and profile is one that is very, very good. That thing is tall shouldered. He's good looking. I guess I just need to fix that guy. When he comes right at me and leaves away, he just simply runs out of gas. He's the narrowest in terms of how he tracks from coming and going. Just need to take that one and just open him up all the way to move him up any higher. The young man rounding out the class has got a gilt that's very good looking, really a tall shouldered type of female. Just simply runs out of bone and power to move up any higher. My congratulations to these kiddos. Very good class of Berkshire hogs.
Class 1 Berkshire, 4th place, Trick Trimble, 3rd, Brennan Sage. Your reserve breed, Berkshire, Cambry Kitchens, and your breed, Berkshire, Kinsley Frisching. Class 2 Chesters, Jagger Hunter, Aubrey Ramirez, Jalen Miller, and Caroline Campbell.
Nice class of Chesters here, only 4 of them, but I think 4 high-quality individuals here. And within this class, we get into a pair of them here I think are very, very good. And within the pair, there's one that I think needs to win fairly handily, and that's going to be the young man here to my left. I think a gilt that it's just so good in how she's put together. That one's extremely square in her build. She comes at you square, she leaves you square, step off on the side, and that one has got an awesome silhouette. That thing's tall-shouldered, she's good-looking. Get on top of her, she's really good in terms of spread and dimension, extremely fresh and presented extremely well. Young man's done a very good job with that one. My congrats to him. Young man's going to be second, has got one that no doubt is maybe just a little heavier structured. That thing is huge, huge leg. He has got a big hind leg that works extremely good. He's big and stout in his forearm and his ankle there. He's got a stout skull. I guess I'd like to just pick that guy up on his front feet. He wants to run downhill just a little bit, and I think if we could pick him up and make him balance just a little bit better from the side. But man, that thing has got an awesome top. He's really sound and super square. Young man's presented him extremely well. Young lady right here is going to go ahead and be third in a hog that resembles our second place hog in terms of look and extension. He is a taller shouldered hog. He's really good on his front pasterns and his feet. Didn't think that one was quite as stout off the ground. I guess when he comes at me and leaves me, he's not near as opened up, not near as dimensional as what our second place hog is, but I think another very nice, super sound, very comfortable barrel that I think long term, if you take him home and really push on him and try and max that guy out, I think that one's got a really bright future. Young lady that's going to round out the class has got the bigger scaled hog in the class. That one's super tall, he's big and extended. Just need to open him up and give him a shot more mass and power to move him up any higher. My congratulations, these kiddos are doing a fantastic job. Awesome set of Chesters.
Class 2 Chesters, 4th place Caroline Campbell, 3rd Aubrey Ramirez, your reserve breed champion Jagger Hunter, and your breed champion Jalen Miller. Class 3 Duroc, Jagger Hunter, Fisher Waldrop, Peyton Ralston, and Gentry Wan.
very nice class here in our lightweight Durocs. And I'll tell you, there's a little bit of give and take between these first two, but I think the one that I just continue to go back to is the one that just suits me the best in terms of his overall design and how he's put together. Young man here to my right is going to go ahead and have your class winner. I think the hog that just proportions extremely good. That's a short back, really neat looking one. He's incredibly sound and very good on his feet and legs. He comes at you better in his chest and his knee. I don't think he's quite as heavy structured as what our second place hog is, but man, this one looks like a lightweight Duroc. He's very up-headed. I like his maturity and where he's at. He's got great shape and muscle. He is presented awesome. Young man's been working his tail off with that one. Very nice hog to go ahead and win this class. Taking nothing away from the young lady's second place hog. I think that one has got some really neat pieces. He has got a huge hind leg. He's got a big forearm. That thing is crazy stout. He's got a big stout mug, and I guess where I'd like to change that guy is he wants to run downhill just a little bit. If I can elevate him and just balance him up a little bit better from the side, we could probably run him a little higher. I guess as well, for being a lightweight, he's getting a little bit more mature in his head and his neck. For what I'd term ideal at this stage of the game, but that one's got a lot of really neat pieces. Again, young lady's doing a phenomenal job showing that one. Young lady here in the pink is going to go ahead and be third, and I like this hog a lot in terms of dimension and body. That thing is big on the top side of the skeleton. He's really got a good, unique look. I guess he gets a little rounder out of his hip and not quite as good in his hind leg. When you step in behind him, he wants to cowhawk just a little bit. But I think one that's got a lot of neat pieces. Young lady's done a very nice job. Young man rounding out the class has got one that is very sound, very comfortable. When you get on top of him, he just simply runs out of gas and just disappoints you in terms of the amount of muscle he's got. He wants to narrow up and how he tracks away from you as well. Just need to open that guy up all the way through, give him a shot more muscle and spread to move him up any higher. Awesome set of Durocs here in our first class. Kids are doing a great job.
Class 1 Duroc, 4th Jagger Hunter, 3rd Peyton Ralston, 2nd Ginger Juan, and congratulations Fisher Waldron, 1st place. Class 4 Duroc, Aubrey Ramirez, Laney Trimble, Brett Juan, Fisher Waldron, and Ellie Mae Wilkes. Our photographer today is Miss Sierra Franks, and we like to thank Flying W Aviation. They have sponsored the pictures today. All pictures have been paid for. Around the building, there's a flyer with a QR code on it, or up here at the announcer's table. Get that QR code and it'll take you to their website where you can download all those pictures for free. We're also live streaming today on the Bi-County Livestock Show Facebook page and YouTube page. So if you have family or friends that aren't here able to watch, give them that link so they can get on and watch these kiddos show. We will be having the adult pig showmanship today following the conclusion of the show. It is $5 to enter any mom, dad, grandparent, aunt, uncle, ag advisor, whoever you want. $5 to enter them, $10 for them to get off, or $100 to stay off. The money that's raised will be going to the Livestock Show Scholarship, so come up to the announcer's table, get your parents, grandparents signed up, and let's see if we can get them to pay off and keep making some money for the scholarship.
a very nice class here in our second class of reds, and I guess it's not quite as cut and dry in my mind, because I think there's things about this top pair that you can flip-flop in your mind, and it just depends on where you want to put your priorities. You know, I'll just talk them real quick in no particular order, but the young man's hog is one that is just incredibly stout, and no doubt the stoutest hog within the class in terms of feature and bone. That thing is really stout in his forearm. He's stout in the skull. He's big up high. I guess when I get behind him, for as much mass as he has up high, he wants to narrow up when he goes away. If I could just give that thing a shot more going away, I'd have a pretty easy class winner. And then the young lady's hog on the far side is one that is absolutely impeccable in terms of design. That thing is awesome in terms of his proportions. He's super extended, very, very good in his hind leg, and uses and functions extremely well. When you step in behind that one's got more when he goes away. He's really opened up and has a good hind leg set. When he comes at you very, very square, balances up extremely good from the side. You know, is that one stout enough at the ground in terms of bone and feature? I guess for me today, he is. I think that hog is very good, but we're going to go ahead and use him to win our class. Like I said, if we could have just stoutened him up right at the ground, it would have been a no-brainer. Like I said, young man's got one that is very, very unique in a lot of areas. That thing's got a big forearm and a big rear leg. When you step in behind him, he just simply is too narrow in how he tracks and goes away from us. I think another very unique animal, though. My congratulations to him. Young man right here in front of me is going to go ahead and have your third place hog. And man, this guy looks like he's on his way up. He's so sound and so correct. Just simply not as much hog there today to go ahead and move him up any higher. But man, the young man's doing a phenomenal job out here. Very sound, very functional. Like that one's lines and how he's put together. Young man does a very good job. Out here for fourth, our young lady here to my left is going to go ahead and be fourth. And it's got a hog that is just very basic, very sound, very functional. Just not any wow factor on that one. We need to crank that thing's head up out of his blade, give him a shot more shape to move him up any higher. And the young lady's hog rounding out the class. Front 2/3 are extremely good. Rear third, we need to reconstruct her hind leg there and how that thing sets and plants. Young lady's doing a very good job. My congratulations to those kiddos. Give them a big round of applause the extra ring. Nice class in their eyes.
Class 4 Durocs, 5th place, O'Neill Wilkes, 4th, Laney Trimble, 3rd, Fisher Waldrop, 2nd, Brett Juan. Congratulations. 1st place, Aubrey Ramirez. Class 5 Duroc, Jasmine Hale, Haley Nicholson, and Fisher Waldrop. And we have had our first 4 victims for the adult showmanship: Lauren Wagner, Justin Wagner, Ashley Poole, and the lady that's running our live stream and Facebook page, Bridget Nicholson.
nice class of heavyweight Duroc barrows here. And the young man there in the orange shirt is going to go ahead and win this class, and I think does so just for being the extra dimensional hog within this trio, and the one that comes at you the most genuine in terms of his chest and knee. He leaves you the same, and when you get him behind that guy, you know, is he the most overwhelming in power? Probably not, but within this class, he definitely does so. That one's tall-shouldered, he's good-looking. Young man, again, is presenting him extremely well. Young lady there, who might be right there in the center, is going to go ahead and be second in this class. And I think a gilt that's just very good in terms of form and function. That thing's very sound. She's very athletic. Her hind leg is extremely good. I guess for me, when you compare her to her class winner, just not as opened up, not as much spread, but that one is so good and so correct on her feet and legs. Young lady's done a very nice job. Young lady's going to round out the class has got one that from the side is awesome. That thing is tall-shouldered. He's extra geeky looking up front. When you get on top of that one, that one's simply the flattest and the narrowest coming and going. Just got to open that guy up, give him a shot more muscle and power to move up any higher. My congratulations to those kids. Nice class of heavyweights.
Class 5 Duroc, third place Jasmine Hill, second Haley Nicholson, first place Fisher Walter. Duroc Breed Drive, Fisher Walter. Aubrey Ramirez. And Fisher Walter.
Well, if you would please put your hands together for these kids out here in your champion Duroc drive. I think we've got 3 individuals out here that are very, very good. And as you'll hear me throughout the day, I like hogs that are balanced. I like them that are sound, and they've got to be good on their feet and legs. And then we try and add as many extras as we possibly can. And I think all 3 of these are very good in terms of their function and form, and they've all got dimension. I guess there's one for me that I keep gravitating back to. If I was going to take one home and just have him on feed, I think he is awesome in just how he's put together, super proportionate, really extended and good looking out through his front end, and he's definitely on his way up. This one here I thought hit the ground just a little bit better right there in his front foot and how his front ankle works. Young man there in the orange shirt's going to go ahead and have your champion. For reserve, it gets a little closer in my mind. We've got our second place hog that comes out, and like I mentioned in class, that thing is really, really stout. He's got a lot of really neat pieces. His hind leg works extremely good. I would like to elevate him in his shoulder, maybe give him a little more youthful look out through his front end. And then there's another one that I thought was extremely good and pushed our champion. He's built very similar in terms of his typing and his kind. I thought his front foot was just a little softer today, but I think he's a very good hog. I like this one second best if the young lady's driving. He'll be reserved.
Congratulations, Reserve Duroc, Aubrey Ramirez, and your Breed Duroc, Fisher Walker. Class 6 Hamp, Piper Poole, Lainey Trimble, Scarlett Poole, Peyton Ralston, and Caroline Williams.
very nice class here, and I think the top 3 in this class are extremely good, and I think there's definitely some give and take here in our top 2, and the one I'm going to use I think is just a little more unique in how he's put together. He's a little taller at the point of his shoulder. I think one that's just got a really cool look about him and still has enough spread for me. Young lady here in the green is going to go ahead and win the class. I think that guy just absolutely commands your attention when he comes in. He is opened up. He's got a big chest, and he's got a big forearm, and then tied with that, that thing is wild looking. Get on top of him. He's got real good shape and real good muscle. You know, ideally where I'd like to fix him is right there in his forerib. He doesn't have as much just genuine punch right there on the backside of his blade as what our second hog does, but man, that one I think is on his way up. I think you go ahead and get that guy filled and put together. I think that one's going to be very, very good. I like where he's at today. Young lady that's going to be second is one that, like I said, I kind of had back and forth in my mind on what I want to do. I love that thing right there in his forerib and in his center rib and body. That thing is awesome. And in his turn to his top, he's very square and correct in his hind leg. I guess for me, when you step back and analyze him, he's the one that wants to run downhill. If I could just pick him up and balance him up just a little bit better from the side, we could definitely use that guy to win because he's got some really cool pieces. He's got a big hind leg that works really well. Young lady's done a very good job with that one. Young lady that's going to be third has got one that resembles our second place hog in terms of body shape and length of body. That thing is super short back and got a really neat look. I guess when you get in behind this one, you need to fix his hind leg structure just a little bit. He wants to cow hawk in just a little bit. His feet want to set out. Doesn't sit quite as square and genuine from behind. A very unique pig there to be sitting in third. Young lady here in the, thank you. Congrats. The young lady here with the paler colored gilt, she's going to go ahead and be fourth. And I guess a gilt that just does so just from her form and function. That thing's sounder. She's better on her feet and legs than what our fifth place hog is. Didn't think that one was quite as stout at the ground in terms of bone and feature compared to the 3 ahead of her. Then the young lady's gilt that rounds out the class. That one is stouter. She's got a big rear leg. She's got a big forearm. Her hind leg structure we need to reconstruct and change a little bit. Gets a little rounder and steeper out of her hip. Not quite as comfortable as along with the driver we're on. My congratulations to these kiddos in the Hampshire class. Very nice class of hogs.
Class 6, Hamp. 5th, Caroline Williams. 4th, Lainey Trimble. 3rd, Piper Poole. 2nd, Peyton Ralston. 1st, Scarlett Poole. Class 7, Hamp. Cambry Lenz, Landry Prishy, Eric Hale, and Cambry Grace Lenz.
here, and I'm going to use the young lady there on the far side in the dark blue shirt to go ahead and win. And I think a hog that does so, just in how he's built and how he comes at you and leads you, that thing is opened up in his chest. He's really stout at the ground, and his forearm and his foot, you step away in the side from him, and that thing is comfortable. I like his shoulder set. I like how he uses his hind leg. Get in behind him, and that thing's square. He's got shape and muscle. I think a very nice place to start. Young lady there in the yellow, taking nothing away from that one. I like that one's shape. I like her muscle. Young lady's got her presented extremely well. I guess when that one comes right at me, she's not quite as good right there in her chest and her knee. And then when you step off from the side, she gets a little more vertical, a little more stilty there in her front shoulder, and how that thing's set into her. If we could rock it back and just get her a little bit more comfort up front, we could probably use that one to win. Young lady here with the half-belted hog right there in front of me. I guess that one takes big-footed to the next level when he comes right at you. That thing's got some big feet and super stout in its bone. I guess when you look at him, that one didn't have quite as much muscle up high. Didn't think that one was quite as long and looped out of his hip. Need to lengthen his hip just ever so slightly there. Give him a longer stride from behind to move him up. And then the young lady rounding out the class has got one that it just falls out of balance there when you step off from the side. Her top line wants to get a little weaker right there between her hand-loin junction. Not quite as much muscle when you get on top of that one. My congratulations, these kiddos. Nice class of Hampshires.
Class 7 Hamp, 4th place Camry Grace Lens, 3rd place Cambry Lens, 2nd Landry Frishy, and 1st Eric Hale. Class 8 Hamp, Rhett Wan, Grant Wagner, Ellie Mae Wilkes, Burt Waldrop, and Trip Trimble.
Another nice class of hogs here, and the one that needs to win and needs to do so fairly handily is going to be the young man here in front of me. I think a hog that is just so good and how he's put together, that thing is extremely proportionate. He's super long fronted, he's super long hip. You get on top of him, he's got the most spread, he's got the most genuine muscle and shape. He leaves you, or he comes at you and leaves you extremely square. I think a hog just balances and fits at this weight and size extremely well. Very nice hog there for that young man. Second and third are very similar in my mind in how they're put together. I think both of them could be just a little different in how they step from behind, but I think there's one that's just a nickel stouter right at the ground. I like how he puts it together from the side. Young man here in the pink's going to be second. I guess when you compare him to our class winner, not near as much spread when you get on top of him. Every now and again he gets a little lazier back off his back right and doesn't want to just take as good and loose of a step from behind. But I think one that's got a lot of really neat pieces. That thing's big-legged, he's got a good look. Young man's presenting extremely well. Same can be said with this young man's here. I like this one, how he's presented. Skin and hair is on point. Young man's done a very good job. That one's tall-shouldered, he's good-looking. I guess when you step in behind, his back right wants to twist just a little bit. He wasn't near as good in terms of his bone cough and how big and stout he was at the ground when you compare him to our second-place hog. That's why he's third. Young lady here in the gray sweater is going to go ahead and be fourth, and I think a hog that front two-thirds are extremely good. That one's really good in terms of his shape and his spread up high. Really like how he comes at you. He's super square. Young lady's got his old head up. He balances extremely good. Like I said, front two-thirds are very good. He gets a little shorter step and a little shorter hit from behind. We just give him a longer, looser step from behind, and we can definitely move him up. And then the young man rounding out the class has got one that just simply runs out of meat and potatoes when you compare him to the ones ahead of him in the class. That one's got a little, just not near as much muscle and power. That one's got a good look. Young man's presented her very well. My congratulations to these kiddos. Very nice class in Hampshire hog.
Class 8 Ham, 5th place Trish Trimble, 4th Ellie Mae Wilkes, 3rd Grant Wagner, 2nd Brett Wan. Congratulations, Burke Waldrop, 1st. Class 9 Ham, Jake Bird, Jalen Miller, Pedro Van Beek, and Landry Frishy.
got a nice pair of them here at the top end of this class, and I guess there's a little bit of give and take. And like I said, in no particular order, I'll talk these two. Young lady's hog there is one that is just absolutely flawless in how he's put together. He's very sound and very functional. His hind leg is extremely good. He's got good shape and good muscle. I think bone is good, and that one's just got a really neat look. He ties it all together extremely good. Is he as heavy structured as our young man's hog? Absolutely not. And young man's hog is one that is just incredible in terms of stoutness of feature. He's got a big hind leg that works very, very well. I guess he, I'd like to change him in just a place or two. His front foot wants to get a little softer. He gets a little throatier right there in the lower 1/3 of his body and underneath his head there. If we could trim him up there. So I guess it depends on your priorities and where you want to set him. You've got the real stout one that's still sound. He's still functional. He's got muscle. Need to fix him there. And then the young lady's hog is just really good build. He's got real good muscle. Maybe not quite as heavy featured as what our young man's hog is, but like I said, it just depends on where you want to put your priorities. I'm a big one on how I want them made and they've got to be correct. Young lady's going to go ahead and win this class. Young man's going to be second. I think a very good pair here at the top end of this class. My congratulations to them. Young lady in the yellow shirt is going to go ahead and be third, and I think a hog that's just really unique in terms of that thing's body shape. She's really big and opened up in the center portion of her body. She's a short back one, but I'd like to lengthen her off of her hip and out of her hind leg. When she comes right at me, I need to open that thing up in her chest floor, give her a notch more spread when she comes at me. Young man rounding out the class has got one that's very sound, very functional, not as much muscle and power to move her up any higher. My congratulations to those kiddos. Nice class of Hampshire hogs.
Class 9 Ham. 4th place, Jake Bird. 3rd, Landry Prishy. 2nd, Jalen Miller. Congratulations, Pedro Van Beek, 1st place. Your Hampshire Drive, Scarlet Bull. Eric Hale. Bert Waldrop. Pedro Van Beek.
Pedro. Well, if you would, please put your hands together and give these kiddos a big round of applause. I think we've got a very good Hampshire drive here, and I think we've got 4 individuals that are all at different stages of their life. We've got a lighter weight hog here that, I think that guy's probably going to go on to Houston, and then you've got some bigger hogs here that are, might hit Fort Worth or San Antonio for sure. They're at different stages on where they're at, and I guess when it comes to me, or comes down for me as a judge, I step back and I just a lot of times think about which one I'd like to have in my barn and which one I'd like my kids to have and which one for me just hits me the hardest and how they're put together and how they balance up and take all the things into consideration. Like I said, I like them good build, I like them stout, and I like to have as many extras, but they've got to balance it and put it all together. There's one out here, I think this looks like a show pig. He's tall-shouldered, he's good-looking, his skin and hair is on point. Young man's doing a very good job driving. Young man right here in front of you. out here for reserve. I guess it comes down between a pair of them. It's kind of a two-horse race. We bring out our second place in that class, and like I mentioned in class, front 2/3 of that one I think are very good. I'd like to change his rear hip structure and how he steps from behind. I guess the two it comes down between are going to be the young lady here in the mint-colored shirt and the young lady right here in front of me. I think both those hogs are very unique in their own right. You know, our heavyweight there is one that's just so sound and so correct, and then you've got a young lady's hog there out of that first class. And he too is very sound. He's very correct. You know, I wanted to fix him just a little bit there in his forerib and just kind of continue to let that guy flesh. But man, that guy's got some wild pieces. So I guess it comes down just between personal preference between the two. I guess there's one to me that just has a little wilder look. I guess has a little brighter future. Young lady there in that mint shirt's going to be your reserve.
Congratulations, your reserve Hamp, Scarlet Pool, and your Hamp breed champion, Burke Waldron. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors this year and our top buyers from last year. Top buyers, you can see their banners on the pins in front of us, and then the sponsors are up on TV. If you see any of these sponsors around today or tomorrow, please go up and thank them. Without the sponsors and top buyers, we would not be able to put on this show. Class 10 Landrace, Jagger Hunter, Corbin Lenz, Gene Frishy, and Case Kitchen. As a reminder, we are going to have the adult showmanship at the conclusion of this show. It's $5 to enter your mom, dad, grandparent, ag advisor, whoever you want. $10 for them to get off, or $100 for them to stay off. Right now we have 4 victims. The first one, Lauren Wagner, Justin Wagner, Ashley Poole, and Bridget Nicholson. Our Hartley County 4-H is running the concession stand today. It is open. Instead of going out to a restaurant, please come to the concession stand and support them in their.
All right, Gene, fire it up. Let's go. Go, Case. Nice class of Landrace hogs here, and to me, the one that needs to win is going to be the young man right here in the light colored green shirt there. The young man's doing a very good job. He's got him a gilt that's extremely nice. That thing's tall shouldered. She's got a great look, very square coming and going, presented extremely well. I think a very nice hog to go ahead and win this breed. You know, between the second and third, it gets a little closer in my mind. We've got a pair of hogs that we'd like to change both in the same area in terms of making them a little taller shouldered. You've got the young man, the shorter young man over there. He's got one that's crazy stout. That thing's got some big legs. He's opened up extremely good. I like that one when you get on top of him. He's got a big rib and super big about his back, and you know, maybe a little more restricted in how he moves from behind, but I think another hog that's very good. And then you've got the young man over here that has got one that's got an awesome hind leg. That thing flexes and goes very well. I'd like to pick him up on his front feet and make him a shot stouter. I guess when you get on top of him, that one doesn't have near as much horsepower as what our young man's does over here. I'm going to go ahead and use this young guy for second, this one here for third. I think a very nice pair there in the middle of this class. Young men are doing a very good job driving them. Young man here rounding out the class has got one that is very good in terms of back shape. That thing's got a lot of muscle and shape. Just simply didn't balance up quite as good from the side. Wants to get a little higher in the spine. Not quite as good out of his hip and hind leg there to move up any higher. My congratulations to those kiddos. Nice class of Landrace hogs.
Class 10 Landrace, 4th place Corbin Lenz, 3rd Jagger Hunter, your reserve Landrace Little Gene Frishy, and your breed champion Case Kitchens. Class 11 Poland, Aubrey Ramirez, Lainey Trimble, and Caroline Campbell.
Nice class of Poland hogs here, only a trio of them, but I think the top two are very nice hogs. And the young lady right here in front of me is going to go ahead and win this class. And I think a hog that when you get on top of him just simply has more spread, has more muscle. You know, he doesn't come without a fault. I'd like to maybe reconstruct his shoulder just a little bit. He gets a little more vertical right there in his front knee and how he sets there, but that thing from his shoulder back is extremely good. Awesome hind leg. He's super square. Got a real big back and is super correct there. I like that about him. That lady's hog that's going to be second is one that is super functional. He's very sound. He's very comfortable. Just not enough hog there to go ahead and win this class. Get on top of him. Just need to give that guy a little harder edge up high. Give him a shot more bone and feature down low. Go ahead and move him up. And the young lady rounding out the class has got one that is very sound, very comfortable. Again, need to give that one a shot more shape and muscle. Maybe clean her up on the lower 1/3 of her body to move him up any higher. My congratulations to those kiddos. Very nice class of Poland hogs.
Class 11 Poland, third, Lainey Trimble, second, Caroline Campbell, first place, Aubrey Ramirez. Class 12 Poland, Landry Frishy, Brennan Sage, Alexandra Montez, and Cambry Kitchens. We have had another name added to the adult showmanship. For those that are on, Lauren Wagner, Justin Wagner, Ashley Poole, Bridget Nicholson, and Garrett Gilligan. If you want to get off, come up and pay $10 or $100 to stay off. You kids, come on up. Let's put your parents and the ag advisors on, raise some money for the scholarship.
Nice class of heavyweight Polands here, and I guess the one for me that I just keep gravitating back towards is the one that seems the most comfortable out here, and still, with that being said, it's got the most in terms of stoutness of feature, width of dimension coming at you and going away. Young lady right here to my right is going to go ahead and win your class. That one comes at you extremely bold and really opened up, and there's been a time or two she takes a step from behind that her back right wants to get a little out there, but when she just goes and plants and drives, that one stays square. She's opened up really big and broad about her top. I think a very nice place to start. Young lady here in the pink is going to go ahead and be second, and I think a gilt that she too resembles our class winner in terms of dimension and spread coming right at you. Get on top of her. She's got a big back and really shapely and fresh up high. She's tall-shouldered. She's good looking, not near as stout at the ground in terms of bone and feature. Her shoulder wants to get a little more forward. I need to rock that back and give her a little bit more comfort up there to move her up any higher. But I think a very nice hog there to go ahead and be in second. Young lady in third is a young lady in the yellow, and I think a gilt that is just very unique in terms of her shortness of back and still got a good look up front. I didn't think this one was near as good when she came right at you, right there in her chest and knee. Need to give that one a little bit more spread. She wants to get a little tighter right out of her hip to move her up any higher. Then the young lady rounding out the class has got one that from the side, that thing's silhouette is very good. He's tall-shouldered, he's good looking, level down his spine, his top. Simply just runs out of power and muscle to move up any higher. My congratulations to these kids. Very nice class of Poland hogs. Give them a big round of applause. They exit the ring. Kids are working hard and doing a great job.
Class 12 Poland, fourth Brennan Sage, third Landry Frishy, second Cambry Kitchens, first Alexandra Montez. Poland Breed Drive, Aubrey Ramirez. Alexandra Montez. Scott Van Beek has been added to the pig showmanship. You know, everyone's been waiting to hear that one.
Well, if you would, put your hands together for these two young ladies doing a very good job out here. And I think we've got a pair of Poland hogs that are very nice. Both of them have stoutness of feature. Both of them are have real good muscle and shape. To me, there's one that's just a little more comfortable in how they get across the ring. Young lady there out of her heavies is going to be your champion. Out here for reserve, the decision gets a little closer in my mind because I think you've got a pair of hogs that both of them you'd like to reconstruct their shoulder just a little bit and how they sit and their comfort level up there. I guess to me there's one that when you compare the two of them, there's one that's stouter featured, there's one that's got a better hind leg and how he moves and goes across the ring. Young lady there out of our lightweights will be your reserve.
Congratulations, our Poland Reserve Champion, Aubrey Ramirez, and your Poland Breed Champion, Alexandra Montez. After the show today, if we could have all exhibitors and parents and whoever else wants to stick around and help, we will be cleaning up the ring and the pins in the back and setting up for the sale tomorrow. So if we can get your hogs out of here, come on back and help us get that cleaned up. We would appreciate it. And if you have multiple animals, please get with Shelby Campbell and let her know what you are going to be selling. Otherwise, she will be picking that animal for you. Connor Nicholson has now been added onto the adult showmanship. Class 13 spot, Alexandra Montez, Mitchell Bailey, Bristol Sage, and Jake Bird. We have another addition to adult showmanship. Our very own superintendent, Mr. Jeff Bird, has been added. Whitney Gilliam has been added to the adult showmanship.
Well, we've just got 4 in this class, but this class winner could withstand a whole lot of heat because I think this one's extremely, extremely good. Young lady there in the pink's going to go and win the class, and if anybody wants to argue with me on this one, I guess we just don't see hogs alike. This thing's extremely good. I like how he's put together. He's a short-backed animal that's got a wicked look. He's got huge limbs and an awesome hind leg. Looks exactly like you'd want a lightweight spot to look. I think this one, man, his future is incredibly bright. You go ahead and take that one home and get him ready for whatever show you're going to. I think that one's going to be hard to get around. Young man right here in front of me is going to go ahead and be second. I apologize, got stuck in a tough class with a very good one there at the top end. This one here is good in her own right. That one there is super stout in her hind leg. That thing's got a big hind leg. Didn't think this one was quite as correct in terms of her rear front shoulder and how she sets right at the ground. But that one's got shape, got muscle, got a real good look. A very nice hog to go ahead and be in second. Young man there on the far side is going to be third, and I think does so just in terms of sheer dimension and center rib cage and body compared to our fourth place hog. This one's sound, she's functional, not near as much bone, not near as much stoutness as the 2 ahead of them. Young lady rounding out the class has got one that is good from the side. That one's tall shouldered, she's good looking. Didn't think that one was near as good in terms of her fore rib shape, not near as good and right there in the turn to her rib and center body, not as wide coming and going when you compare to the ones ahead of her. Nice class of spotted hogs, very good one there at the top end.
Class 13 spot, 4th place Bristol Sage, 3rd Jake Bird, 2nd Mitchell Bailey, and Alexandra Montez 1st. We've got another addition to the adult showmanship, and it's shaping up to be a star-studded affair. Not only do we have our superintendent Jeff Bird added, Whitney Gilling's been added, but we also have our brand new extension agent, Mr. Luke Sharp, has been added to the adult showmanship. Doesn't matter who added. Class 14 spot, Kyle Ortiz, Grant Wagner, Mason Rashali, Little Gene Frishy, Landry Frishy, and Cambry Kitchens. we do the grand drive today, we will have a Peewee showmanship. So if you've got any littles that aren't able to show yet in this particular show, please go find them a pig and let's get them out there and give them some experience right before the grand and reserve grand drive. We've got some more celebrities that have been added to that old showmanship along with Scott Van Beek. We've got Mr. Nick Albrock and Mr. Austin Boyles. And Michael Wilkes has been added to the adult showmanship.
Well, another very nice class of spotted hogs here, and I guess we've got one that, for me, in a market hog setting, does so very well, and that's going to be the young man right here in front of me. I think a hog that is just so good in terms of spread and dimension. That thing is fresh on the top side of the skeleton. He comes at you square, he leaves you square and very comfortable. Young man's presenting him extremely well. We get into a pair of gilts here that, no doubt, in a breeding gilt show, I think they're very, very competitive. A young man right here in front of me is going to go ahead and be second, and I think one that is just so good in terms of that one's squareness, that one's dimension. To me today, she's got a little bit too much fill. Need to pull her up just to make her balance and blend and give you that real good look from the side. But man, that thing is ultra good. Like I said, the breeding gilt setting, that one's a hammer. I think a very nice gilt to go ahead and be in second. Young lady that's going to be third has got one that resembles our second place gilt in terms of internal body dimension. That thing's got a big hip, when she comes right at you, wants to narrow up right in her chest ever so slightly, not quite as comfortable out of her front shoulder and blade there, but man, I think a trio here at the top end of this class is extremely good. Like I said, those gilts are next level in a breeding gilt show. Young lady that's going to be fourth has got one that, again, is very similar to her second and third place gilts in terms of body and shape. That thing's got a big back. She is stout at the ground. That thing's got a big forearm and a stout skull. Got a real good look. I thought she got a little wide and a little out of bounds there when you view her from behind in her hip. Need to just tuck her in and pull her up in her hocks and square her up ever so slightly. Give her a little bit more comfort and ease the longer the drive wore on. Get into some hogs here in 5th and 6th that are hogs that are good in terms of design and from the side. They've got muscle and shape. That one there, we've got to definitely reconstruct her front shoulder. Young man rounding out the class has got to give that one more shape and muscle and power within this Spartan hog setting. Nice class here. My congratulations to them. Give these kids a big round of applause. They're doing an excellent job.
Class 14 Scott, 6th Mason Rashavi, 5th Kyle Ortiz, 4th Camry Kitchens, 3rd Landry Frishy, 2nd Gene Frishy, and 1st Grant Wagner. Spot champion drive, Alexandra Montez, Grant Wagner. We've had a couple more additions to the list, Gene Frishy and Eric Diaz, and Pat Lenz.
If you would, put your hands together for these two kids out here. They're doing a tremendous job, and the spot show's been good. It's been fun. The top end of these things, I think, have been extremely good. And to me, there's one that we get our class winners out here. There's one that just stands out to me, and is the kind of hog that we like to feed at home, that we try and make. It's tough. These hogs that are this kind of caliber are tough to put together. If you heard me in class, when I find one I like, it's kind of hard to hold back. Young lady here in front of me will be your champion. Bringing our young man's second place guild out of that class, and like I mentioned, rear from that one, shoulder back is extremely good. That thing's got shape and muscle, a big hind leg that works really good. Gets a little more vertical right there in her front shoulder and blade. Then there's another one out here that just continues to go, and I love this thing's shape and muscle. He's super fresh and awesome, presented extremely well. Young man's done a tremendous job. Skin and hair's on point. You can tell he's put a lot of work into this project. That young man will be reserved.
Congratulations to our spot reserve breed, Grant Wagner, and your spot breed champion, Alexandra Montez. I just got a text, there's been 3 more that have been added. They are the sisters. They are Kendall Waldrop, Shelby Campbell, and Britt Knoll. Y'all have been added to the list. Class 15 York, Scarlett Poole, Peyton Ralston, and Bert Walter. Ari Martinez, you have been added to the adult showmanship.
Very nice class of Yorkshires here, only a trio of them, but I think all of them are extremely good in quality and type and kind. To me, there's one that I just keep gravitating back towards. I think this thing is impeccable in his build. I love how his hind leg works and functions. He is awesome in terms of his throat latch and how he ties into his head and his blade. He's got big legs, he's hairy. Young man there in the center is going to have your class winner. I think one that is, like I've said before, I think this thing's on its way up and it doesn't nowhere near look maxed out today. I think that one's got a really bright future. Young man's done a very nice job. Young lady's going to be second here in the pink, and I think another one that's very good and a super high quality hog that's very comfortable, good on his feet and legs. Didn't think that one was quite as good when he came right at you. He's not quite as opened up as what our class winner. Didn't think he was quite as neat and trim right there in his head and his neck, how he ties in there compared to our class winner as well. But man, that's being awfully critical. A very good one. I think one that's very correct, very sound. Young lady's presenting extremely well. Young lady that's third is one that I told her, this thing's very good. He's a super high quality animal. Skin and hair is really good. She's done a very nice job presenting that one. He is super fresh and awesome on the top side of the skeleton. Hind legs awesome. He works, that thing works and functions extremely good. Gets a little piece here. He's right there. He's pinched his ham loin. When he comes at you, he's not near as opened up in his chest and his knee and spread up there. And then I've got to fix his front foot. For a lightweight to be that down, I'm a little concerned for his longevity standpoint. But man, that thing's all drub-headed, good looking, presented extremely well. Young lady needs to be committed. Let's give those kids a big round of applause. Nice class of Yorkshire.
Class 15 York, third Scarlett Poole, second Peyton Ralston. Congratulations, first place Burke Walter. Class 16 Piper Poole, Jagger Hunter, Ellie Mae Wills.
Well, just a trio of them here in this Yorkshire class, and I think there's a pretty easy handle within this class, and that's going to be the young lady here with the black shirt. She's going to go ahead and win, and has a hog that is very, very stout right at the ground. That thing's got some big limbs. He's very sound. He's very comfortable. He doesn't come without fault. You know, I'd like to maybe square him up ever so slightly when he leads away from you. Maybe give him a shot more power, but man, I love that thing's comfort. I love his build. I like how he ties together into his head and into his loin. Young lady's presented that one extremely well. Skin and hair's on point. You can definitely tell she's been working with that guy. A young man's going to go ahead and be second in this class, and I think does so just from his comfortability, build, design, and look standpoint. That thing's got a really cool look. Need to stouten that one up at the ground, maybe fix that one's front foot and pastern and how he sits right there. But man, that one's good looking, very sound, very comfortable. Young lady rounding out the class has got one that I love. This thing spread up high. I like his dimension. Muscle is very, very good. That thing's stout at the ground. He's got a big forearm, big rear leg. You wonder why he's third. When he comes and goes, we need to fix him coming in, going. His front feet want to sit down, they want to twist, and then when he leaves away from you, he wants to taper in right at the ground. So just need to fix that one structurally in a place or two. But my congratulations to these kids, doing a fantastic job out here.
Class 15 York, third, Ellie Mae Wilkes, second, Jagger Hunter. Congratulations, first place, Piper Poole. York Breed Drive, Berg Waldron. And Piper Poole.
But if you would, put your hands together for these two kiddos out here, doing a great job. We've had a really nice Yorkshire drive, and we get our two class winners out here. I guess there's one for me out here that just looks like a show pig. He looks like the kind that he's on his way up. Looks like his better days are still yet ahead of him, even though he's got plenty today for me. Young man in the center will have your champion. Out here for reserve, we bring in our second place hog, and that was an extremely good class. And like I mentioned, I thought this hog was very, very good and has some really unique pieces. Need to tweak him in a place or two to compare him to our class winner. But man, that thing's got a lot of good in him. He's my second favorite. He'll be reserved.
Congratulations to our reserve York, Peyton Ralston, and your York Breed champion, Berg Waldron. Our photographer today is Sierra Franks. All the pictures have been paid for through sponsorship by Flying W Aviation. Around the building, we have flyers with a QR code posted on it. Get that QR code, go to Sierra Franks' website. You can download all those pictures there. Thank you again, Flying W Aviation, for sponsoring that today. Class 17 Dart Cross, Scarlett Poole, Salvador Montez, Kinsley Frishy, Piper Poole, Brando Martinez, and Berg Waldron. We will have Peewee showmanship right before the Grand and Reserve drive, so if you have any kiddos that aren't able to show today, please get them in the back, get them with the pig when we get closer to that time, so they can come out here and have a chance to show. We've had some adults pay to get off. The list that we still have: Lauren Wagner, Justin Wagner, Miss Ashley Poole, Bridget Nicholson, Garrett Gilliam, Scott Vandy, Connor Nicholson, Jeff Bird, Whitney Gilliam, Luke Sharp, Nick Albrock, Austin Boyle, Michael Wilkes, Pat Lenz, the sisters, Kendall Wadrick, Shelby Campbell, Britt Knoll, and Ariana Martinez.
Very nice class of crossbred hogs, and we've got hogs in 4th, 5th that I think are both very, very good. All 4th, 5th, 3rd, all the way down through, I think are high quality. Very nice class to start. And I guess when I step back and just look at them, there's one that is just the most complete. Still, he's got those extras. He's the most correct on his feet and legs. He's super good in terms of bone and feature and stoutness. Young man here in front of me is going to go ahead and win this class. When he comes directly at me, he's the he-man of the class. That thing is big in his chest. I get on top of him. He's got a big square back. You watch him travel away, and it doesn't get a whole lot squarer than that. That thing's super fresh. He's dialed in. I think his body composition, I think his fill is all appropriate. I think a very nice hog to win. Young lady that's going to be second is one that, man, when he first came in, I thought this is an up-headed, good-looking one that has got shape and got muscle on a very good hind leg. And when you compare him to our class winner, he gets a little further down on his front feet, not near as stout in his rear leg bone and ankle. I guess another concerning thing is right there in his rear flank, he's starting to get a gland deal, or if we could tuck him up and just make him blend a little bit better there, we could probably move him up. But man, that thing's got a lot of quality. Super good in terms of freshness up high. Young lady's presented that one awesome. She's very good on the stick. My congratulations to her. Young lady coming out in third has got one that, man, this thing is stout. That thing's got a big stout noggin on him. He's got a stout forearm. The longer the drive wore on, he gets a little shorter stepping from behind. Need to lengthen his hip, just kind of lengthen and stretch him all over from the tip of his nose back. Need to stretch him there and then lengthen his hip just ever so slightly to move him up. Young man coming out next is one that, man, I really like a lot of things about this one. I love how sound, I love how flexible he is. He's got a big forearm and a big rear leg. I worry long term if this hog just gets big enough. I just worry about him being too small in his overall build and how he's put together. I guess for me today, he's pushing the limits and envelopes in terms of condition up front on his head, his neck. If I could trim that guy up, give him a neater tucked up neck and head, I could definitely go ahead and move him up a place for sure because of the extras that he has. Young lady right here, man, you step away and look at this thing from the side. You came in, I thought, oh boy, here's our class winner. I love this thing's build. I love his shape, his muscle up high. Freshness is awesome. Skin and hair is impeccable. Young lady's presented him extremely, extremely well. He simply just disappoints me when he comes right at me and goes away. Simply too flat, too narrow, coming and going. If we could just yank this guy apart and just rip his whole rib cage open and give that guy more dimension all the way through, we could definitely use this guy and run with him quite a ways. He's presented immaculately. Young man running out the class has got one that has got more center dimension, center body. Simply gets too moderate, too round out of his hip, and need to reconstruct his hind leg to move him up. My congratulations to this kiddo's excellent class of crossbred hogs.
Your class 17 dark cross, 6th place, Brando Martinez, 5th place, Piper Poole, 4th, Salvador Montez, 3rd, Kinsley Frishy, 2nd, Scarlett Poole, and your 1st place, Burke Waldrop. Class 18 dark cross, Alexander Montez, Grant Wagner, Haley Nicholson, Rhett Wan, and Eugenio Davila.
Nice class here in our second class of crosses, and I guess when you look at this trio and step back and just look at the hog that's got the most sheer dimension and power, and one that just comes at you incredible in his chest and his knee. He's stout about his forearm, he's stout about his head and his skull, and yet he's got a wild, wild look. He's super square from behind. Young lady there with that chromed up one's going to go ahead and have your class winner. I guess from there, it comes down between a pair of hogs that are built very similar in terms of look and extension. To me, there's one that's just better right at the ground, and they're in their foot placement, how they set at the ground. Like this one's shape and muscle up high. Young lady right there is going to go to be second. That thing's got a really neat look. He's super fresh and square up high. Didn't think that one just had near as much stuff as what our class winner did, but that one's got a really unique look. Like I said, shape and muscle's good, feet and legs are extremely good. Young man's going to be third. Has got one that I love this thing's flexibility, his comfort level is awesome. Skin and hair is on point. The young man has done a phenomenal job getting his hogs ready today. That one looks like he's been fit to a T. He's broken and extremely good on the stick. Where I need to fix him is right there in his front foot. Need to stouten or pick that thing up, stouten him there in his forearm and in his rear leg to move him up any higher. But love that thing's skin and hair. shape up high, muscles very, very good. Young man's done a very nice job. Young man coming out next has got one that is crazy, crazy stout. That thing is big legged, big forearm. That thing's short back. He's got a lot of muscle up high. Just doesn't tie and blend as good as some of those ahead of him. Gets a little crusty right there at the top side of his neck. Not quite as good when he comes at you. He closes up in his knee. Need to fix him in that regard. Young man rounding out the class has got one that wants to run downhill a little bit. Not near as much muscle and shape to move up any higher.
Class 18 Dart Cross, 5th place, Eugene Davila. 4th, Rep 1. 3rd, Grant Wagner. 2nd, Haley Nicholson. 1st place, Alexandra Montez. Class 19 Dart Cross, Fisher Waldrop, Peyton Ralston, Gentry Wan, Mad Dog Poole, Nathan Van Beek, Mitchell Bailey, and Maya Luther. We have had another edition of our adult showmanship. Miss Tori Parrish has been added on. Tori, you're up. We've got another addition to the adult showmanship, Miss Sarah Ralston. You have been added.
Interesting pair here at the top end of the class. And I guess for me, the one that I just keep going back to is one that just overwhelms the class in terms of just general stoutness and bone, and still stays square inside themselves. Young man there in the red shirt's going to go ahead and win the class. You know, ideally, I'd maybe like to lengthen her hip just a little bit there, but man, that thing is so square and super, super stout. That thing is big-legged, really presented extremely well. Skin and hair is very good. He's done a very nice job. Young lady that's going to be second is one that this hog, I don't know if he's just nervous coming out here, but he's got a lot of really neat pieces. That thing is awesome in his chest and his blade. When he comes right at you, he is extremely comfortable. Didn't think he was near as stout as what our class winner was, but man, that thing's awfully good. And I think once he gets in a ring or two more, gets a little bit more comfortable and show himself off, I think he's going to be very, very good. He just didn't want to compose himself the whole time, but I think another hog that's very, very nice. Young man that's going to be third has got one that from the side I think is extremely good. That thing's tall-shouldered. He is sharp about his edges. He's really unique in terms of his look and extension. Stout at the ground. Didn't think he was quite as good when he viewed that one coming and going. Need to open him up all the way through. Skin and hair is on point. Young man's done a very nice job. Young lady that's going to be fourth has got one that another one that's presented extremely well, and she's done a very nice job getting this guy ready to rock. He's tall-shouldered, really proportionate in how he puts it together, like his skin and hair. When you view him going away, he wants to taper in at the ground and not stay quite as genuine from that regard. The young lady's done a very nice job. Young man coming up next in fifth has got a solid black barrow that is tall-shouldered, good-looking. He's got shape and muscle. Simply got to make him more flexible off of either end. He gets a little straighter off of both ends. You just give him a more comfortable step, and we can definitely move him up. Young man coming out next has got one that from the side is extended. He's tall-shouldered. You need to shorten that guy up and make him a little bit more proportionate. He gets a little longer and a little wonkier out of his hip. He wants to swing and sway just a little bit, but I think a very nice hog. Young lady rounding out the class has got one that's got all kinds of shape and muscle. Just structurally need to change that one in a place or two. My congratulations to these kiddos, doing a fantastic job.
Class 19 results. 7th, Maya Luther. 6th, Maddox Poole. 5th, Mitchell Bailey. 4th, Gentry Wan. 3rd, Fisher Waldrop. 2nd, Peyton Ralston. And first place, Nathan Van Beek. Your Class 20 Dart Cross, Ellie Mae Wilkes, Bert Waldrop, Gentry Wan, Salvador Montez, Hudson Henry, and Nathan Van Beek.
Nice class of crosses here, and I think the one that needs to win is the one that just has a little bit more today, and that's going to be the young man there in the red shirt. I think the hog that you get on top of him, and his back shape and his spread and center rib cage is just awesome. He comes at you really opened up and squaring his knee and chest, presented very, very well. Young man's got him a nice hog to win this class. Young man that's going to be second is a young man here with the belted hog, and a hog that is so good in terms of his correctness and looseness of skeleton. I guess when I got on top of that guy, he simply just didn't have as much as our young man's class winner did today. But man, I think this thing's got a bright future. Love that thing's build. I love his proportions. Young man's done a very nice job. Young lady that's going to be third has got one that is so unique in terms of look and extension up front. When you get on top of him, he's the driest in his forerib. He's the harshest right there in his center cage. Just need to open that guy up, give him a little bit more substance in that regard. We can definitely move that guy up. A young man that's going to be coming out next has got one that's got more center rib, has got more fill. Didn't think he balanced quite as good from the side. Gets a little weaker in her spine, gets a little shorter stepping from behind. But man, that thing has got some stout pieces. Very unique gilt to go ahead and be in fourth. Young lady coming out next has got one that is very good in terms of shape and muscle, and I like that thing's edges. Gets a little rounder and a little steeper out of her hip. Not quite as good in that regard. Need to pull her tail head up, lengthen and loosen her hip to move that one up. And then the young man rounding out the class. Front 2/3, I think are very good. That thing's an up-headed, tall-shouldered, good-looking one. Gets a little bit more robotic and searching from behind on that thing's hip and hind leg to move up any higher. Very good class of crosses. My congratulations to these kids.
Class 20 Dark Cross, 6th, Salvador Montez, 5th, Gentry Juan, 4th, Hudson Henry, 3rd, Ellie Mae Wilkes, 2nd, Burke Walker, and 1st, Nathan Van Beek. Class 21 Dark Cross, Kinsley Frishy, Jean Frishy, Corbin Lenz, Haley Nicholson, and Mason Rashadi.
Very nice class of crosses here, and I think there's one that I just prefer head shape just a little bit better. I like how she ties and puts it all together. You know, maybe in a market hog setting, a little bit too much fill for me, but man, that thing over there is awesome in terms of that one's look and presence. bone is awesome. That thing's got a hind leg that's very good, super, super fresh. And like I said, maybe in a breeding gill show, this one is going to be hard to turn. She's very, very good. Like I said, if I could tuck her belly up, but man, that's getting awfully critical of a very, very good one. Very nice hog to win this class. Young lady it's going to be second has got one that is really big in terms of that one spread up high, really big and bold down her top, super good in terms of shape and muscle. She comes at you wide, she leaves you square. Didn't think this one's head was quite as unique and is quite as neat looking. Didn't think her hind leg was quite as good in terms of reach and flex from behind, but man, that's being awfully critical of a very nice hog. Young man coming out in third has got one that is a little neater looking, is a little trimmer in her head and neck. That thing's tall shouldered and good looking. When you get in from behind this one, you've got to make her step just a little bit better than her back left hock. Has got a little bit of, it's a little coarser, not quite as clean right there. Need to change her in that regard, but man, that's a very nice female. Young lady coming out next has got one that, man, this thing's spread and internal dimension is awesome. I love that about her. Very, very sound and comfortable. Just need to clean her up on the lower 1/3 of her body. Gets a little throaty right up there through her head and her neck to give her a neater show hog look. And man, that thing's got hair, she's got dimension. Young lady's done a very nice job with her. Young man rounding out the class has got a barrow that's tall shouldered, good looking, not near as much muscle and power to move up any higher. Very sound, very functional. Young guy's doing a very good job. Big congratulations to those guys. Give them all a big round of applause, the extra ring. Nice class.
Class 21, 5th, Corbin Lenz, 4th, Haley Nicholson, 3rd, Mason Rashavi, 2nd, Kinsley Frishy, and your 1st place, Jean Frishy. Nathan Van Beek. Alexandra Montez. Burke Walter. Dark crossbreed drive. We will be doing Peewee showmanship right before the Grand and Reserve Grand Drive. If you want someone to show Peewee showmanship, please come to the announcer's table and sign them up.
Well, if you would, please put your hands together for these kids out here doing a phenomenal job. And this cross drive is good. I think there's several of these hogs that are very, very unique in how they're put together. And to me, I guess there's one that I love where he's at in terms of his condition. I like where he's at in terms of feet and legs and foot placement. This thing is awesome in terms of just his proportions. His shape and muscle is extremely good. He comes at you really square. Young man right there is going to have your champion. bring out our young lady's second place hog, and like I mentioned in class, I think some really neat pieces. I love his head. I love how sound and flexible he is. Need to fix his front foot and clean his underbelly up there just a little bit. It gets tough in my mind because there's three others I like a great deal. The young lady's hog there on the far side, I think, is one that, man, that thing has got some really, really neat pieces. And if we could just keep him composed the whole time and keep him slowed down, when he starts to get going, his back right, he's wanting to swing just a little bit. But man, that thing, his chest, his knee, that's a big ring type barrel when he comes right at you. His chest and his head, his skull shape is awesome. Love that thing's rib and body. He's definitely in contention out here. Young man there in the red shirt has got one that is just absolutely flawless in terms of muscle, shape, bone, and just how he puts it together. Didn't think he was quite as unique. Just looking as what our champion was, man, that thing's awfully, awfully good in a lot of areas. And then the young man's gilt over here is one that, as I mentioned in class, it hurts me because I think if we have a breeding gilt show, that one there is going to be hard to turn. She is so good in so many areas. Looks like a female, looks like a lady, just a little bit too much belly and a little bit too much here in this market hog setting. But man, I think one that's just very, very good in a lot of areas. Not quite as much muscle when you step in behind that one, just in her hip, but she looks like a female and looks like one should. I think that's a very unique animal. So to me, it comes down between those three. There's one out here I think is just the next best in terms of function, form, get on top of them, shape and muscles, extremely good. Young man there with that red shirt's going to be your reserve.
Congratulations to your Dark Cross Reserve, Nathan Van Beek, and your Dark Cross Breed Champion, Dirk Walter. Class 22, Light Cross, Grant Wagner, Jean Frishy, Scarlett Poole, Alexandra Montez, and Kinsley. Our adult showmanship list: Lauren Wagner, Bridget Nicholson, Jarrett Gilliam, Scott Van Beek, Connor Nicholson, Jeff Bird, Whitney Gilliam, Luke Sharp, Nick Albrock, Pat Lenz, Ari Martinez, Tori Parrish, Sarah Ralston, and the Wilson sisters. Reminder, after the Light Cross Breed drive, we will have a Peewee showmanship. So if you have any littles that want to show, please come to the announcer table and get them signed up. Dalton Hicks, you have been added to the adult showmanship. Dalton Hicks. We'd like to thank all of our junior board members for all the work that they put in this week, helping out in the ring, helping set up, and keeping everything going. So thank you, junior board members, for all your help. Also, at the conclusion of the show, if you will, please stick around, help us get the ring and the pins cleaned up, and set it for the sale tomorrow. Jennifer Lenz, you have been added to the adult pig showmanship. Jennifer Lenz.
Man, extremely good class, and I don't think all day I've weighed all of them, but there were 5 in this class, and we weighed them all, and unfortunately we lost one to the scales. That young man had a very nice blue hog that had great shape and muscle, and skin and hair was awesome, but like I said, unfortunately we lost him because it'd be fun to see what he looked like out here. I think we've got 4 individuals that are very, very good, and like I said, an extremely deep class, and I think within this class there's one that I just keep gravitating towards, and in terms of how this one's put together, how she ties into her head and her neck, and just a big stout forearm, a big rear leg that works really, really well. Young lady there with that blue blanket, and Gelt's going to go ahead and win this class. I think a very unique hog to go ahead and win, and one that I thought had great shape and muscle, really stout right at the ground. And then we get into a pair of them here in the middle of the ring that I think are very, very good. There's one that I think is just a notch better in terms of stoutness of feature down low. Young lady right here is going to go ahead and be second. When I got on top of this one, didn't think he was right and ready today in terms of shape and just sheer expression and edge there. But man, that thing has got a lot of really neat pieces. At times, he wants to duck his head down, and it doesn't come out of his head and his blade quite as well as I'd like. When she gets under him and he gets his head up, it's really cool and neat to look at. But I think one that his better days are ahead of him for sure. He's got a square hind leg that works extremely good. Like I said, just not quite as much just on the top side today, but I think a very nice hog to be in second. Same can be said with the young man here in third. I don't know if this one's quite ready today, but man, this one's he's got more shape, he's got more turn to his top. But when you got on top of him, he's the flattest one right there in his forearm and his cage. When you compare him to the two ahead of him, didn't think he was near as stout right at the ground in terms of bone and foot size when you compared him to our second place hog. And then the young lady rounding out the class has got a barrel, or got a gilt there that simply just doesn't balance up quite as well. She gets a little longer in her spine, not quite as good, just in her overall balance and how she puts it together. But I think one, it's stout, she's heavy structured, very sound. Young ladies presented her extremely good. Let's put your hands together for a very good class here in our light cross division.
Class 22, fourth place Scarlett Poole, third Jean Frishy, second Alexandra Montez, first place Kinsley Frishy. Class 23 light cross, Caroline Campbell, Piper Poole, Hayden Luther, Mitchell Bailey, and Jalen Miller. After we have the grand and reserve grand drive, we will start off with our senior showmanship, intermediate showmanship, and then junior showmanship. Any of y'all are welcome to show. So if any of the senior, intermediate, or junior showmen that want to show, y'all are welcome to.
A little more give and take here within this class, and I think we've got a pair of them that are good in their own right, and in no particular order. I'll talk them just real quick. Young man's bluegill is one that is extremely good when she comes at you. That thing is opened up and square in her knee and square in her chest. She is broad back and big top. She's got a big hip. Maybe just wants to get a little rounder out of her hip. Not quite as good in terms of her rear leg bone, and as big in her forearm there is what I'd like to see for the amount of mass that she's got. That one there has got a lot of stuff and still not quite as much feature down low. And then the young lady's white hog there is one that from the side is absolutely killer built. I love how that thing ties his head into his blade. His feet are big, his forearms big, his rear leg's big. You know, when you get on top of him, does he have enough today when you compare him to our other one? I guess for me today he does. I like his muscle pattern. I like it just a little bit better than that blue one. I definitely like how stout he is at the ground when you compare him to our bluegill. He's going to go ahead and be your class winner. Young man's going to go ahead and be second. It's a very nice pair there. Definitely differences that I see in him. That's how I see him today. Young lady that's going to be coming out next has got one that is awesome in terms of design and look from the side. That thing is killer built. He's tall shouldered. He's good looking. When he comes right at you, he's not near as good good right there in his cage and in his heart. He's not near as good when he leaves away from you in terms of internal dimension. Just need to open that guy up all the way to move him up any higher. Young man coming out next has got one that just isn't quite as comfortable in his build. That one's got a big top and a big hip. It's a little rounder, a little straighter in his front shoulder there. Need to fix him in an area or two. We can definitely move that one up. Then we got a blue belted hog coming out next. It's got all kinds of shape and muscle. Just simply need to fix that one structurally to move up. My congratulations to those kids. Nice class of light crosses.
Class 23 light cross. 5th place, Hayden Luther. 4th, Mitchell Bailey. 3rd, Piper Poole. 2nd, Jalen Miller. And 1st place, Caroline Campbell. Class 24 light cross. Pedro Van Beek, Camry Grace Lenz, Mason Rashavi, and Kaya Ortiz. We have 2 more classes before Peewee showmanship. So if you want your littles to show in Peewee showmanship, please come sign them up. Our adult showmen, Lauren Wagner, Bridget Nicholson, Garrett Gilliam, Scott Van Beek, Connor Nicholson, Superintendent Jeff Bird, Whitney Gilliam, Extension Agent Luke Sharp, Mr. Nick Allrock, Pat Lenz, Ari Martinez, Tori Parrish, Sarah Ralston, the Wilson sisters, Dalton Hicks, Jennifer Lenz, Morgan Luther, and Ross Firstbacher. Y'all are signed up on the adult showmanship. Swan, you have been added to the adult showmanship. Swan.
Nice class here in our light crosses, and young lady here is going to go ahead and win. I think a hog that's just got a lot of neat pieces. That thing is stout in his head and the skull. He's still got a really unique show hog look. Really like his forearm. That thing is stout, and he's big in his rear leg. You know, does he have as much spread and shape up high? Maybe not, but I think within this class, he definitely handles this class fairly handily. Young man there with the blue rumped barrel is going to go ahead and be second. And I think one that I like that thing's shape. I like his muscle up high. He gets a little rounder out of his hip. Doesn't want to take quite as good of a step from behind, but I think another one that's very nice. Young lady here, it's going to be third, has got a gilt that I like that one's look. I like her extension. She gets a little rounder out of her hip, a little too much fill for this market hog setting, but I think one that's very, very nice in her own right. Young lady rounding out the class has got one that's got all kinds of muscle and shape. Simply need to balance her up and give her a little better look to move her up any higher.
Class 24, Cameron Grace Lenz 4th, Kyle Ortiz 3rd, Mason Rashavi 2nd, and Pedro Van Beek 1st. Class 25, light cross, Trick Trimble, Hudson Henry, and Haley Nicholson. We also have another addition to the adult showmanship. It's going to be a battle of the spouses. Wes Ralston, you have been added onto the list. this class will have the light cross, breed drive, and then Peewee showmanship. If you have a Peewee, start getting them ready.
Nice class here in our last class of light crosses, and I'm going to use the young man there on the far side of the ring to go and win this class. I think just the proportionality and his feel and how he's put together, I think he just blends and balances the best. You know, ideally we maybe just square him up ever so slightly on his hind leg, but man, coming and going, that thing is awesome. Skin and hair is on point. He is ready to rock and roll. Young man's done a very nice job presenting him. Young lady with the blue gilt is one that resembles our class winner in terms of body shape and muscle. I guess when it comes down to it, I didn't think she was quite as fresh right on the top side of her skeleton. She too wants to just get a little wider, a little more out of bounds there from behind. But I think they both are similar in that regard. Just didn't simply think she was near as fresh as what our class winner was. The young man rounding out the class has got muscle. I like that one's dimension. Just not quite near good enough from behind when we view her in that angle. My congratulations to these kids. Very nice class of light crosses. Look forward to her.
Class 25, Terminal third, Amy Nicholson second, and Hudson Henry first. Now for your light cross drive, Kinsley Frishy. Caroline Campbell, Pedro Van Beek, and Hudson Henry.
Hudson, hand up high.
If you would please put your hands together for these kids out here doing a phenomenal job. I think we've got 4 individuals that are very good. To me, I guess it comes down between a pair of them, and that's going to be the young lady right here in front of me and the young lady there on the far side with the blue hip gilt. I think a pair of hogs that are very, very similar in terms of function and form. I guess today there's one that just has a little bit more to her. Young lady out of that first class is going to be your champion. Out here for reserve, it gets pretty close in my mind. Young lady brings her second place hog out, and as I mentioned in class, I didn't think that one had just quite as much on the top side of the skeleton, but man, that thing has got a lot of really cool pieces. He's heavy structured, really good in his hind leg, and then we've got the young lady with the white hog over there that is awesome in terms of his chest floor and how he comes at you. He's got a really unique look. I guess today there's still another one that just has a little bit more on the top side and just a little bit more punch all the way through. That class 1 was a hammer. That one will be reserved.
Congratulations to our light cross reserve champion, Alexandra Montez, and your light cross breed champion, Kinsley Frishy. We are now going to go ahead and get the Peewee showmanship going. If you have a Peewee, get them up there to the entrance of the arena. Once again, adult showmanship. Pat Lynns, Ari Martinez, Tori Parrish, Sarah Ralston, the Wilson sisters, Dalton Hicks, Morgan Luther, Ross Persbacher, Lance Swan, Wes Ralston, Tracy White, Kyle Kitchens, Lauren Wagner, Bridget Nicholson, Garrett Gillian, Scott Van Beek, Connor Nicholson, Superintendent Jeff Bird, Whitney Gillian, Extension Agent Luke Sharp, Mr. Nick Albrock. Y'all have all been added on to the adult showmanship.
Hey, Meyer, get on the other side of him. Yeah. Go, Meyer. Go to the judge. Go to the judge. Yeah. His side. Good job. Go to the judge. Good job, buddy. Good, Meyer.
Barbara Miller, you have been added. Barbara Miller, you've been added to the
Look
adult
at the judge,
showmanship.
buddy. Get him turned, Meyer. Good, buddy.
Doing all right? Awesome.
Other side, Meyer. Other side. Good, Meyer. Look at the judge, Meyer. Look at the judge.
Taylor Wilkes, you have been added to the adult showmanship. Taylor Wilkes.
Howard, how you doing?
Hey, get him turned, Meyer. Get him turned. Get him turned. No. Come on, Meyer. Head up.
For the senior, intermediate, and junior showmanship following the grand and reserve drive. Any of y'all can enter this year for senior, intermediate, and junior. Taylor Wilkes, you've been paid to be put back on.
Good job, Meyer. Take him to the judge, buddy. Eyes up. Use your hand.
Well, if you would please, let's give these guys the biggest round of applause we've had all day. Let's hear it for them. Doing a tremendous job out here, and I'll tell you, this it's close to home because I've got an 18-year-old, I've got a 2-year-old, so we've got quite the age span, and this age I absolutely love. It can be absolutely trying as a dad because I know how competitive I want them, that I am, and sometimes we maybe push a little too hard, and we need to just sit back and let these guys have some fun and really enjoy it, because this is where it starts, and this is the future of the show industry, and the future of the ag industry, and the future in general. These kids are awesome. I absolutely love working with these little guys, but I'll tell you, showmanship is one of my least favorite things to judge, because I have no problem telling you where I'd like to change your pig, or I'm very convicted in what I like, and this right out here is tough to do when you got to tell a kid that they didn't do as good as the other. But I will tell you, there's one out here, I tell you, this young showman is absolutely getting it. And has been, and he's out here ready to win, and got his old tongue out. He's ready to rock and roll. He's doing a phenomenal job. Young man right there is going to win your buckle.
Congratulations to our Peewee Showman winner, Myers Wilkes.
Way to go, Meyer. You should have just let us know. Grand Reserve. You want to go with me once this is done to turn in my Poland? Are you gonna come to the dance? You better come to the dance. You were the only person kids with last year. Because they tried to get me to dance with
Reserve Berkshire, Cambry Kitchens. Reserve Landrace, Gene Christie. Reserve Hamp, Scarlet Pool. Reserve Chester, Jagger Hunter. Reserve Duroc, Aubrey Ramirez. Reserve Spot, Grant Wagner. Reserve York, Peyton Ralston.
Yes, she did. She had her hands full.
Reserve Poland, Aubrey Ramirez. Reserve Dark Cross, Nathan Van Beek. Reserve Light Cross, Alexandra Montez. Following the grand drive, we will kick off showmanship with senior showmanship, followed by intermediate, and then junior. Anyone is welcome.
Going home to make dessert. When you finish, come out to the house so we can work on it. Instead of okay, then you're going to know.
If we could, let's all give Mr. Adam Beck a round of applause for coming down and sorting through our animals today. We really appreciate it. And at the end of the show, after everyone has cleared out their pigs, if y'all could all come back and please help us get this cleaned up and set up for tomorrow. Champion Burke, Kinsley Frishy, Chester, Jalen Miller. Champion Duroc, Fisher Waldrop. Champion Hamp, Bert Waldrop. Champion Landrace, Case Kitchens. Champion Poland, Alexandra Montez. Champion Spot, Alexandra Montez. Champion York, Bert Waldrop. Champion Dark Cross, Bert Waldrop. And Champion Light Cross, Kinsley Frisching. Let's give all these exhibitors a big round of applause. Tomorrow we will have a buyer's lunch starting at noon, and the sale will start at 1 o'clock in this middle room.
Well, if you would please put your hands together for these kids out here. They're doing a great job. And it's been an awesome, kids, you can just wait just a minute here real quick. It's been an awesome show all day long, and I want to thank Seth and his crew and everybody here at the Livestock Show for asking me to come down and sort through your homes and more importantly, work with these young kids. It's awesome to see the support that they have around here. Kids, you don't know how much, well, some of you do, some of you don't know how much it takes to do this project, and the amount of money and the amount of resources and time and effort. You guys know what time it takes to put in, and then your parents or grandparents, FFA teachers, whoever's behind you, make sure you thank them for allowing you and helping you to do this project, because it takes a lot to get this all done, and ag teachers, county extension agents all need to be commended for getting these kids out here and getting them to work And kids, keep grinding. It's a lot of fun. I would do anything to be able to be in your shoes and then go through it again. It was absolutely a blast and a time in my life that I had so much fun and able to relive that and see my kids be successful in this. It's an awesome opportunity. It teaches you so much. I don't feel like I'd be where I'm at today without doing this project. People telling me you can't do it. I had someone real close to me told me I'd never make it, and needed to stop doing this, and that pushed me hard, and it still pushes me today. To continue to prove them wrong. So don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. Go ahead and chase your dreams. This is what you love and what you want to do. Go for it. I was a broke kid. my parents were both teachers. They were divorced. We didn't have any money. We had garage sales, sold toys, and pay for pig feed. So it's been a lot of fun, and it's an awesome project. So I give this thing my whole heart and absolutely love working with kids, and that's how we make a living. Love working with my family. The guys I've got back at home, I've got the best crew in the world. It's a great group of guys I get to work with every day. Again, can't thank you enough for having me down. This has absolutely been a blast. Kids have been great. Absolutely respectful. It's been an awesome show. Extremely well ran. Your ring crew, your guys up here announcing, it's been a great time. So again, give these kids a big round of applause again. I'm going to go out and name your champion. That champion, I felt like, was just extra good, and he was so proportionate, and I guess just for me, he looked like a show hog. His limbs were huge. He had just a little bit more shape and muscle on the top side of the skeleton compared to our reserve. But there's another one out here that absolutely gives me chills, and honestly, it's a type of hog that when you wake up, you just hope he's alive and just hope he's still healthy and put together. I think this one, for his breed, is an absolute monster. He lit me up in his champion drive, and I think this thing's an absolute hammer. Young lady's spot's going to be reserved.
Congratulations, our reserve grand champion, Alexandra Montez, and your grand champion, Mr. Bert Walter. Next up will be senior showmanship, followed by intermediate and junior showmanship. After that, we'll have the adult showmanship. Adults that are still in: Lauren Wagner, Bridget Nicholson, Garrett Gilliam, Scott Van Beek. Scott is out. Connor Nicholson, Superintendent Jeff Bird, Whitney Gilliam, Extension Agent Luke Sharp, Pat Lenz, Ari Martinez, Tori Parrish, Sarah Ralston, the Wilson sisters, Dalton Hicks, Wes Ralston, Tracy White, Barbara Miller, Taylor Wilkes, and Callie Wiley. You have been added to the adult showmanship. And Petra Walter. Callie Wiley. You have been added to the adult showmanship. Don't give me that look. Get to the back. Give your kid to someone. Go back there and get a pig. Adult showmanship. Besner, you have been added on to the adult showmanship. Pam Besner. Jeremy Lenz, you have been added on to adult showmanship. Jeremy Lenz, you can thank your mom.
Well, if you would, put your hands together for these senior kids. They're doing a phenomenal job. And I think I pinned back 6 of them, and we'll rework them. I think we've got 13 here, but phenomenal job out here. And the kids that got pinned, I felt like just had a little bit more eye contact, a little better control with their whip, used their utensil just a little bit better. And like I mentioned, showmanship's one of my least favorite things to do. I love showing in it as a kid, but it's hard to tell these kids because all of them can drive hogs. Young lady with this Duroc is doing a great job. Maybe not quite as much eye contact, but man, she can show hogs. All of these kids can. They're doing a very good job. Let's give these guys a big round of applause and we'll rework these top 6.
The adult showmanship, the top 3 senior showmen will judge that. The top 3 senior showmen.
If you would please put your hands together for these kids. They're doing an absolutely phenomenal job. They are so good, and like I said, showmanship is tough because I hate just nitpicking on kids and just little things here or there that I know how it is out in the ring. If you get in a jam, it's sometimes hard, but man, these 3 out here are doing extremely, extremely well. I guess to me, it just comes down to personal preference. I think our third place showman, I'll just work bottom up, our third place showman is one that is very, very good and gets their hog going and is so good and just getting them to go. This one's not wanting to stay as smooth all the way through as far as their movement, but uses that brush and gets them going. I just wish that our other 2 were just absolutely flawless and their hogs don't stop, but sometimes your partner in this situation doesn't do what they need to. Young lady there with that belted hog is going to go ahead and be third. Love her intensity, love how she shows hogs, does a very nice job. And you've got these 2 out here, and I'll tell you, they are so, so good. And neither one of these hogs have stopped the entire time, and both of them have maybe a little different approach, and I think one's maybe just a little bit more intense, one's a little bit more laid back, but man, they are absolutely incredible showmen. I like a showman that's super intense, and there's one out here that does it extremely well. Young lady in front of me is going to be champion. Young man's going to be reserved. Excellent, excellent showman. I think 6 of them are extremely good. I'll go ahead and let these other individuals out. And, young lady here in the black shirt does a great, great job. I love her eye contact, love her intensity. I think the longer the drive wore on, there were a time or 2 that I saw you go a little further away. I'd like to just see a little closer to me and just see a little bit more of you. Same can be said with the young lady there in the pink. Do a very good job. Maybe a little more intensity would be awesome. But man, like I said, all of these kids do a phenomenal job. Young man in the orange shirt, you do a great, great job. You would have been one of my top there. Your driving partners just wanted to give out on you, and sometimes that, unfortunately, is how it goes. But great set of senior kids. My congratulations to those kids.
Congratulations, 3rd place senior showman, Peyton Ralston. 2nd, Rhett 1. And 1st place senior showman, Alexandra Montez. We will need Alexandra, Rhett, and Peyton back to the adult showmanship. They will be judging that.
Well, if you would, again, put your hands together and congratulate these kids. They're doing a great job out here. And I think I kept 6 more. And these kids out here by no means are doing a bad job. They're doing a very good job. I guess just weren't quite as smooth as what some of the kids were that caught pins, but I think did a very good job. Again, my congratulations to these kiddos doing a fantastic job out here.
And all that.
Michael Clark, you have been added on to the adult showmanship. Michael Clark. If you're on adult showmanship, please be getting ready with your pig. After intermediate, you'll have junior showmanship, and adults, y'all are up.
Where'd you go, Levi? Oh, yeah, you know everybody, don't you? Yeah. Okay, as long as you leave the pad on, all good. Good job, sis.
It sounds like our adult showmanship is going to be the battle of the superintendents. Not only do we have Jeff Berg, but we got the text line superintendent, Mr. Carol Jones, has been added. You can go on back and get your pig too, Jeff.
Well, if you would please put your hands together for these kids. They are doing such a good job out here. And like I said, every single kid that is in here can show hogs extremely well, and could show one for me any day of the week. I think we've got 3 individuals up here that every time I turned around, they just kept coming back up. And I know in showmanship, a lot of guys will get critical if you cross over in front of me. Honestly, I'm one of those guys, I really don't care. I just want that hog to continue to go, and if you need to cross over like she just did to keep that guy going at a nice steady pace, it makes me no difference at all. When we show them in the ring, in a class, I'd rather my kid just keep that thing going versus going around it and stopping it and not being as smooth that way. So I'm not as critical on that as what some guys are, but I think these 3 showmen are just incredible in how they show these animals. Our 3rd place showman is one that I'll tell you, whenever we were just out here a couple times, and this is a big ring, there shouldn't be any reason why you go behind me, because I think that you always should try and stay out in front of me. But this one individual did that a time or 2, but man, does a phenomenal job. Young man right here in front of me is going to go and be 3rd. Does a great job on the stick. Got a pair of young ladies here that I think are just absolute killers on the stick. I mean, their intensity, the way they use their utensil, they just do an absolutely great job. There's one that I felt like maybe was just a nickel more smooth. The longer the drive wore on, their pig didn't stop maybe ever. But man, these young ladies are awesome. They do a great job. Young lady here in this green shirt is going to be your champion. Young lady in the black is going to be your reserve. Coming out next, our young lady there in the green. She does a great job. I love her intensity. I love her eye contact. There were a couple times, like I said, this ring is big there towards the end, where she maybe got down here a time or 2 a little further than I'd term ideal. Right about that distance is where it's a sweet spot to see a hog and be able to analyze those things extremely well. You do a great job. You use your utensil right, your brushes, all you do. Great job. Young lady with the blue coming out next. Again, another individual that does a great job. I like how she shows hogs. Her eye contact's incredible. There was a time or 2 where you maybe got on the whip or got on the brush a little harder than I'd like to see. Like to see that hog just go out and plant and drive. You know, I don't care, a time or 2, but maybe on top of her back, it makes them drop their top a little bit. I probably try not to do that, but that's being extra nitpicky of a young lady that does a phenomenal job. Young lady coming up next is one that I love her eye contact and intensity. She's super intense, really hit all the spots and all the holes. Looks maybe a little more rigid. Your off hand's a little straight, maybe tuck it up just a little, just like that. Look a little more relaxed. You do a great job driving that hog. You just change. If you can do that, you're going to move on up really hard. So, great job of intermediates there. Mike, congratulations to them.
Congratulations to our intermediate showman, 3rd place Grant Wagner, 2nd Piper Poole, and your 1st place intermediate showman, Scarlett Poole. All right, our adult showmanship is closed. The following people are going to be up to show: Lauren Wagner, Bridget Nicholson, Connor Nicholson, Superintendent Jeff Berger, Whitney Gilliam, Extension Agent Luke Sharp, Pat Lenz, Ari Martinez, Tori Parrish, the Wilson sisters, Dalton Hicks, Taylor Wilkes, Pam Granny Besner, Michael Clark, Superintendent Carol Jones, Sammy Albrock, and Superintendent Misty Haskell. All you need to get back to the back, get your pigs, get ready. I also need Alexandra Montez, Brett Wan, and Peyton Ralston to the announcers table to judge the adult showman. Mason Miller, you have been added to adult showmanship.
If you would please, again, put your hands together for these kiddos out here doing a great job. I've got 5 of them pinned and we'll rework them. I just felt like they probably had the best eye contact and kept their hogs going at a nice steady pace. So again, congratulate these kids as they exit the ring. Very nice job.
We've got 3 late entries for adult showmanship. Rebecca Hoganson, Bill Kelly, and the one and only Parker Knoll.
Again, one more time, put your hands together for these kids. They're doing a great job out here. I guess one of the best things I heard all day is that I don't have to judge adult showmanship. So that definitely was music to my ears to hear that. But these kids are doing a great job, and all 5 of these guys are doing a great job keeping their hog going. I guess it's just little things that we need to learn to make sure we keep our hog out in the center of the ring and just keep them going at a nice pace. There's one little guy out here that is doing a great job. Maybe from time to time got a little further away, but young man on the far side there with that Landrace gill, he's going to go ahead and be 5th in this division. Our young person that's going to go ahead and be third is one that, again, I think does a very good job of keeping their hog going. Again, from time to time, maybe got a little further away, but keeps this hog going extremely well. Heads up, good looking. Guy does a very good job showing his gilt. Young man here with the belted hog is going to be fourth. And we get down to a trio of showmen here that I think are doing a great job. Our third place showman is one that does a great job keeping their hog going at a nice steady pace. I guess what didn't have quite as much eye contact, didn't feel like he was quite as intense. Young man there with that red barrel is going to go ahead and be third. Out here for our champion showman, I guess there's one that I felt like was just a little bit smoother, was maybe out in the center just a little bit more. And then there's another young person that eye contact intensity is absolutely impeccable. Maybe from time to time got a little further away, so it's really close in my mind. But today in this division, young man's going to be champion, young lady's going to be third.
Congratulations to our junior showman. Fifth place, Case Kitchens. Fourth place, Gene Brishy. Third place, Fisher Waldron. Second place, LMA Wilk. And your champion, Waldron. Next up is going to be the best show of the day, adult showman. I need Rep 1, Peyton Ralston, and Alexandra Montez. Immediately after this, after we get all the animals cleared out, we will be tearing down the show ring and the pins and setting up for tomorrow. So please come back and help us get this cleaned up. And if we could give Mr. Adam Beck one more round of applause for all the help today.
You have a hat on. You two are out, you'll have hats on. We are leaving the gates open, so...
No way.
Sir, you're out. Your pig's not clean. That shit is all over him. Sorry.
Luke, sorry, you're out. Shavings. Michael, yours has shavings. Y'all two are out. Y'all are too close. Connor, you're out. You're staying on the fence. You're out. You're out. You're late. Hey, hey, hey! Get out. You're out. You just have shavings. Starting off in third, Bridget. We're mouthing off. Your second. You stopped showing when we said jokes. So. Tori is first.
And that concludes our big show for this year. Thank y'all for all coming out and supporting this. And as a reminder, if y'all can, please stay around, help us get the arena and pins cleaned up. Buyer's lunch starts tomorrow at noon, and the sale will start at 1 o'clock in the middle part of the Coliseum. Thank y'all and have a good year.